Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Drunken Arcanauts Golarion campaign. I'm Clancy, I'll be your DM today. This is a Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign based on the Fall of Plaguestone story, at least for now. We might do some custom storylines later. We got tons of custom items and situations and bad readings of the rules and all that other fun stuff going on already. So prepare for a wild ride. Last time, the party had worked their way out of Halod's lair. Along the way, they picked up a magic ring, the bloodletter kukri, and Finnick died, triggered a whole bunch of traps, and narrowly escaped a cave collapse. So if you'll go introduce yourselves, I'll finish the recap, and then we can get started.
Hi, I'm Risky, and I'm playing Gene Remington, who is a human ranger and a master of the occult and all that cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Mark. I play Gish, aka Dr. Gish, who is a goblin alchemist, very good at alchemy and healing people massively, and has not surprised me so far. So
I'm
Good.
Jay. I play Mornar, a half-elf swashbuckler who jumps around and stabs things and says weird shit to people.
And my name's Claire, and I play Delicia Fairshadow, southern elf lady who shoots the party more than any of the enemies that we happen to deal with.
Okay, so after getting out of the cave, the party knows that Halod was the hand that killed Bort, but he was directed by a mysterious V based on a signature of a note. So they still need to figure out who's responsible for ordering Bort's death. They did manage to get themselves, as injured as they were, back to the caravan and rest for the night. We come back to the party in the morning with them having rested and had some time to think on the information they've uncovered. So let's see. Everybody sort of gathered back up, and you're at the caravan. You all got rested. You're all at full health. None of you are wounded. And yeah, what's the plan?
We're still level 3.
4.
Okay.
somebody's phone updated.
That's a good sign. I think we were, just from my memory, going to talk to the second in command to Bort.
First in command now, eh?
Yeah, and get show her the note or whatever. Maybe try to get some information from her. She might know who those people are.
Who the V is?
I think her name was Tamley.
Tamley. The
Tamley?
female half-orc chief. Okay. So y'all heading towards Tamley? You get to Tamley.
We slept the night, right?
Yep, you slept the
Okay.
night. She's in the process of organizing Bort's stuff and her stuff. It looks like she's moving into Bort's old wagon. And she's just sort of going through it. She sees you, and she waves you over and says, "Well, I'm happy to see you back. Have you managed to figure out what was going on? Find out and/or deal with whoever ordered Bort's death?"
We did, actually, and I'm gonna show her the note and stuff I found.
She looks at that and she says, V. And she thinks. She's like, "I don't know a V. Who is V?"
It could be short for a last name or a first name. Can you think of any names that might begin with a V that is somehow important in the trade?
She thinks for a minute, and she's like, none that come to mind. Not around here.
Well,
There are some traders with V's, but on the eastern side of the continent, and they wouldn't have anything to do with this little town.
What if we just start saying names that start with V, and then maybe that will jog her memory, guys?
Vendetta.
Voluptuous.
Very.
So you said there was someone on the other side, the east side. Who are they?
Well, there's an elf lady named Vanessa that I'm pretty sure Bort slept with once. That's about
Okay.
the only V I know of.
In town, in here?
No. That's like 600 miles away.
There
That's
is
helpful.
no one competition-wise. Maybe nothing to do with this town specifically, but competition-wise that might you can think of that might want to kill Bort or.
No, I don't know the townsfolk here that well. I mostly stay with the caravan. Bort was the one who always went into town and interacted with them. But no, I no V's come to mind. Did you find any other clues or hints, anything that might lead to what they were buying or what they needed? Maybe they were tying up loose ends.
I have a question. I have schooled in secrets, and I noticed signs and symbols that members of mystery cults and other secret societies use to declare their affiliation. Would that be part of that?
I'd say there would be influences from some specific cults in the format of the writing that not only was on the paper, but you recognize it as writing that was also on all of the bottles that you found, the empty vials that had writing on them. It's not necessarily anything that you can say like, aha, this is somebody from that, but there's influences from like an ancient alchemist guild in terms of the scripture used. Looks the same.
They have this weird kerning on their eyes, and they have a vertical serif on their O's. Don't ask where it is.
It's probably vampires.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because this note does say corpse blood. Who deals in corpse blood?
Actually, I don't think vampires drink like dead people's blood.
Oh,
Tamley is sort of scratching her face. Huh. That is a good point. Corpse blood is not a particularly not a lot of people want corpse blood. Its uses are few and far between, and none of them are very good. It's definitely something you need to dispose of carefully, or else you risk causing various problems. You can just kill the earth in a wide range around wherever you dump it. So you don't want to be dumping it in fields or near a house. It's bad stuff.
Would it be the kind of stuff that could maybe make like a bunch of wolves start breathing acid and just get real nasty like?
Oh, not by itself, it couldn't. That's crazy shit.
That'd be more like alchemy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be advanced alchemy, probably some sorcery in there as well. I don't know how that stuff works. I'm a caravan trader, not an alchemy / sorcery analyzer.
I have a bit of an idea, gentlemen. Maybe we should go back and try to talk to the local sheriff. That way we can figure out exactly what the situation with the investigator that's coming through, the magistrate, how far out they might be. And also on top of that, we could probably ask him if there's any locals with a V in their name.
That's a good idea.
That guy seemed pretty dumb, as I recall, but
He was, but I
He
would at
may
least hope, the V might V. Maybe, wait, I can't even remember his name. He might be it. Who knows?
I think it was Timothy.
think it's a good idea. He may have uncovered information that he didn't even realize he uncovered. The slow are good at that type of thing.
Tamley says, I really do appreciate the work that you've put forth into this and your continued efforts. And she digs into her pockets. She says, I know there's a reward for when you actually do find the killer, but hands a stack of 100 silver over. Hands it to Dr. Gish and says, please split this to help pay for any costs that you've incurred along the way. Bort was my only real friend in this world. And as you've been defending his memory, that makes you my friends as well.
I was going to say that's pretty rude if you're saying Bort's your only real friend and we're standing right here. But anyway, would you say that this should be divided evenly, Tamley, or just at my own discretion?
And she says, oh, however you want to.
Where are you off? Where are you off to next, Tamley?
He says, I'm here until the magistrate comes and they clear this up with Bort's death. And they can't let any of us leave until we know who did it.
Yeah, we definitely weren't planning on leaving either. So just want to make sure we're on the same page.
And before we go, you just can't think of anyone that deals in corpse blood at all?
I mean, I know Bort's bought it in the past, and we brought it along. I never saw who he was selling it to. It appears it'd be this V, but outside of that, even to get it in the quantities listed here, Bort has to have been secretly picking it up from various alchemists all over the continent. This much would be very alarming to have purchased all at once anywhere.
Would there be, if he was supposed to deliver it, he died pretty soon after we got here. Is there a chance that there might be some here at the caravan?
We can look. I didn't see any. I went through and inventoried everything, but it's possible that with something like that, he would have stashed it more carefully.
Can any of your other employees read by chance?
I bet Ulf and Ulf can.
Let's find out really quick. Let's see here. Glenda can't. Cookie can. Ulf and Ulf say they can.
So probably not. Is it possible that you could have some of your employees go through some of the old records and see if they can find anything connected to corpse blood in the past?
Well, I can ask Cookie to go through it. He's got the longest memory of any of us, and while he's a little odd, he's more clever than he lets on.
That sounds good, because I'm not going through those fucking records again, so...
Yeah, could we roll to see if we remember if we saw anything? Because we weren't looking for it before.
You can. What would that be? What is there? Is there a recall?
An intelligence check, maybe?
I mean, it's probably some sort of intelligence.
Or like society has a recall knowledge action.
Recall knowledge, yes, exactly. That's the one.
So society? Is that what you said?
So there's a couple different recall knowledges. Apparently, I can have you do tons of them. You can roll recall knowledge for arcana, crafting, lore, medicine, nature, occultism, religion, or society. In this case, we're talking straight intelligence because it's not related to any of those in particular. It's just memory.
Okay. 15.
Yeah, +1, so 17.
17. Looking back, it looked like Bort had done a delivery right when you guys got into town. There was one checked off for the date that was when you arrived. Now, either he marked that because he arrived in town and he marked it early, or he marked it because he had, actually delivered them. But it suggests that, yep, the most recent arrival here marked a delivery of corpse blood.
Okay, so he did deliver it right when we got here. Or he marked it off, I'm pretty sure. I think.
Would it have like an address? Like, does he have enough information that has like where it would have been going?
I don't remember that. Because we're going off memory still, right?
I know. I'm asking Clancy if the documents had that type of information. We'd
The
have to go look
documents
again, but
had you delivering it behind the tavern that you guys were at. Just literally stocking it up behind there as though it was supplies for the tavern.
supplies for the tavern. Okay. Think we should go look into this corpse blood delivery.
Maybe we'll see the sheriff on the way.
Maybe.
Okay. So you guys leave the caravan and Tamley to her organizing, and you head into town. As you get into town, you see the sheriff is arguing under his breath with a woman shrouded in a heavy brown cloak trimmed with leaves. She has a wooden sledge, and on it is a pile of wolf carcasses. Very familiar wolf carcasses. The ones that you slew either very recently or on the way into town. She's arguing with the sheriff, and are you guys going to approach or stay back?
Approach. Fuck it.
I want to hear the nature of that conversation from a distance, if at all possible.
Okay.
Let's
You
get
get close enough to hear Delicia. The rest of you, are you getting like in the conversation?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, that works too.
Delicia like stops a respectful distance away, and everybody moves in. She's just like, fine. You march right up. She doesn't even spare a look. She's just saying, you need to understand, this blight is unnatural. It's been happening for years, and you've been ignoring it. You're the sheriff here. I will not accept that you're not going to do anything about this. You've been saying something must have gotten sick in the river, or some sort of plague must have hit the plants. Well, we're past that. We're acid-spitting fucking wolves, Rolf. That's not just something that you can wave away. We have patches of blight all around here, and I don't know what's causing it. But I do know it's fucking bad news. And he's like, look here, it's just it's a matter of, I just don't really care about trees, Nawala. They don't. Why do I care if a tree dies? I cut them down. Like a dead tree is still firewood. A dead tree can still be used to make a house. Just go cut them down. Why even be a ranger? Trees don't need protection. What, you go kill beetles? You go stop forest fires? I don't care. And yeah, acid spitting wolves, that's wild. You know what else is wild? I don't have a pension. That seems wild to me. I don't care, Nawala, and I didn't care the last time you came here crying about the blight. I don't care now. She throws her hands in the air. You've got to be the dumbest sheriff I've ever met. And she goes to storm off and then just looks up at everybody and sees you guys.
I'm going to do a deep bow. I'm going to go, hello, I am Morinar, lead detective in the death of Fort.
She just looks.
Morning. I take a sip of some tea that I've been nursing since I got up.
And she's like, You work for him?
No.
Fuck no.
Oh,
Sorry,
well,
self-described lead detective.
okay. Well, I don't know any Bort, but and then she stops and she goes, "Do you know anything about these?" And she points at the carcasses. She says, "I found these leaking acid on the side of the road, not far outside town, as though someone killed them and just left them to rot and
Oh.
poison the ground and the earth."
That seems like a poor decision on their part.
Yeah, that sounds like they should have took care of that correctly. How do
seems
you
like-
take care of those
Yeah,
correctly?
She's like, "Well, for one, I'm going to burn them, but for two, I need to find who did this. A, so I can reward them for killing blight-infested animals, and B, so that I can make sure that they have been burning any others that they come across, so that they're not poisoning the ground."
Well,
Yeah.
while I cannot take credit for those specific ones,
I will.
we have killed a few, and we made sure to burn them, as you were talking about. So I can't really prove that how many we killed, but it was around 6, 7.
There are that many. Do you know
Yes.
where? Normally, we only find this many of those beasts in heavily blight-infected areas, which need treatment. At this moment, you see, even though she's been sort of moving her arm around, her cloak comes out, and her arm is badly mangled. It's bleeding through the bandage, and it looks like it may have been broken at some point and reset. She clearly is pretty injured and is just trying to hide it.
Do you want a health potion?
She says, "No, I'm fine. We don't have time. I need to get to the bottom of this, and I've been trying to get." And she sits down, a little dizzy. "I've been trying to get the sheriff to help." Rolf walked off, by the way. He, as soon as you started talking to her, he just was like, "Whatever," and moved on. And she's like, "But he's not interested in the blight. He doesn't care that it's here. He thinks it's just natural, and it couldn't be farther from the truth."
What do you know of corpse blood or its ability to create such things?
Yeah, while you tell us about that, I'm just gonna, and I pull out like bandages and start trying to treat wounds on her while she tells us what she has to say.
Okay, roll me a medicine check.
Maybe that'll keep her sitting still for a minute.
19.
19. That's not bad. Okay. You begin to unwrap her hastily, inexpert bandaging and splinting and everything. And she at first seems concerned, but she sees that you've got the kit and everything, and she just sort of trusts you. So as you're redoing the bandages, you're cleaning the wounds and stuff, you can see that the bone had actually ripped through the skin at one point. It's an upper arm snap, and she had gotten it reset, but the two wounds where the bones had punctured through were maybe not infected, but were on the way to infected. So as you're treating it with antiseptic and stuff, she's sort of gritting her teeth, but she thinks on the corpse blood for a second. She's like, "Well, it's not good. By itself, it really shouldn't do anything like this at all, but a competent enough alchemist, well, they could do some very bad things in the mixing. It wouldn't do that, but it could cause the blight. And the blight can cause significant deformities and ailments amongst creatures in that area."
So, are you a local?
No, well, not really. I've been the ranger for this section for about 70 years. I was in the war for a little bit, but for the 30 years prior and the 35 5-ish years after the Goblin Blood Wars. I've pretty much been here, and everywhere within a couple 100 miles of here. I'm here very regularly. She's got elven ears.
Mm-hmm. And what was her name again? Did she tell us or not?
You heard Rolf call her Noala.
Would you know if there's any locals that might have a name that starts with a V?
She thinks. She goes, it's hard to remember which locals are alive now. Most of them are human, and they live such short lives.
Tell me about it.
And she thinks, and she goes, none. I don't particularly remember any. V? A V?
V.
No, no V families, and I don't think I remember any V names. No. Why do you ask?
Inquiry.
Do we have anything with the V on it?
Just the note.
Just
Oh,
show her.
note you gave to Tamley?
I figured I just showed it to her. I don't think I gave it to her.
Oh,
Kept
okay.
it. Would you like to help us, because you have a knowledge of this area, it sounds like a long knowledge, investigate this corpse blood confusion?
And she thinks, and she goes, well, I would. I really should be going and exploring the blight. I think I've noticed a pattern to where it's appearing. And she thinks, she goes, how about this? If you can help me get to the bottom of whatever it is that's causing these blight formations, then I'll help you. I do have a long history here, and the townsfolk mostly trust me. I can get them to tell you things and help with your investigation, but I need your help first. This really shouldn't wait.
Can you give us a quick sidebar?
She says, yeah, as long as it's minutes, not hours.
Well, with us, it's hard to say. We'll keep it to minutes. We'll keep it to minutes. Do you guys want to help her?
She did say reward.
That is true. Also, I have a hankering feeling that it's like her problem and our problem be intrinsically linked, perhaps.
I do too.
This is a lot closer than the next nearest clue, 600 miles away.
Yeah,
that too.
She seems a lot smarter than the sheriff, so I feel like maybe we can get a bit more done with her, even if we have to side quest for a second.
She'd probably find something stupid for the sheriff to look after. Just keep him busy.
Yeah. He probably keeps himself busy by just talking to people.
Yeah, that's what I was
nothing.
saying. He's probably arguing with a farmer right now.
Yeah.
As you say that, Rolf pops out of a door and heads your way. He sees you're not talking to Noella. You're about, I imagine, 10 feet away, so you can have a conversation to yourselves. And he walks up. He says, well, howdy there, detectives.
Hello.
Hi.
I noticed that my number one suspect ain't with you no longer. Where Fennec be at?
We have not
sure.
seen him.
Uh-huh.
He
must have ditched town.
Oh, that little bastard's probably the one responsible, I figure.
Could be.
When I see him next, I don't know if I'm even going to take him in. Might just put him down. Rabid beast.
Well, you know, that's what makes you the sheriff.
Yes. Following the law and making sure that the suspect is truly guilty before you shoot them in the fucking field.
He nods and he's like, yeah, you all know the law. Well, without him, Still can't have you going nowhere.
That's
You find anything out? Anything I need to know? Maybe
not
reason
it.
to get rid of anybody? And he's jerking his head to the side at Noala. Get rid of anybody irritating in town? I know you talk to her. She talk about trees. She always talks about trees.
Do you have a neck twitch?
She certainly seems to like the trees. You know what? We'll talk to her. We'll escort her out of town. How about that? We'll
Okay,
deal
but
with her for you.
don't go too far. Remember, you're also suspects. And he looks pointedly at Gish and he says, "And I don't trust all of you."
You know what? You're the sheriff.
He nods and heads on his way. Damn straight. Just keeps going.
Oh, jackass. All right, let's go. Let's go talk to this. No, is her name Noal? Is that what it is?
Noala. Noala.
Narwhal.
All right, I'm just gonna head back to her.
Okay. Noala's still sitting there, sort of one eyebrow sort of raised as she sees that you just talked with the sheriff. She said, "I presume that he was as educational as ever."
He's certainly a sheriff.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna reach my hand out to help her up.
She takes it. Thank you. So will you help me?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
She pulls out a map and lays it down, and it's a bit more of a regional map than a local map. And she begins to point out locations that are circled in sort of a black charcoal. She says, "There's been blight here, and here, and here, and they're all sort of surrounding in almost a semicircle, a single sort of area. It's not quite. It's more like a messed up U, or just I don't know. Something is happening, and I can't tell if it's in a line or if it's coming from a source to the north of it or what. But I know these are connected. These patches of blight are connected somehow. And your talk of corpse blood makes me wonder if it's not something that I haven't been thinking of. Either way, I'm headed out. There's reports of a new blight location, and realistically, I need to go clear the beasts out before they murder everyone in the nearby area. There's a few homesteads out there, but that's what being a ranger's about. And then she goes to move, and she sort of stumbles. Dr. Gish, between the working on her arm and the medicine check and everything, you can tell that she's fevered. Like she shouldn't be going anywhere.
Well, you seem like you're in tip-top shape now. Hey, Gene, aren't you a ranger? You don't seem to be having been doing anything that Noala's doing. What's the deal with that?
She's a tree ranger.
Oh, what kind of ranger are you?
More of the vampire killing one. Or ghost killing.
I'm going to just tell Mornar off to the side that she's in rough shape. She's got a fever. I don't think I'm going to tell everyone.
What?
So we should just there's not a whole lot I can do. I've healed what I can. It may be because her arm was all fucked up for a long time, but we can keep an eye on her.
Will a healing potion help a fever? Doctor?
I'm just gonna ask her.
Stop. Unless you
Gonna ask her.
Go ahead.
Are you sure you are feeling okay?
She says, "It doesn't matter how I feel. There's people who will die if I don't go and handle."
Why don't
blight.
I make you a quick deal, okay?
And she sort of looks up, and you can see that she's like actively on the edge of hallucinations as her eyes are sort of coming in and out of focus on you.
Why don't you go get a room at the hotel and give us the map, and we'll go deal with this blight of yours and see if we can uncover anything along the way. Our friend here is a ranger himself. I'm sure that he has more than enough knowledge to guide us through.
Yeah. Where are we going?
Well, we're gonna get a map.
She's like, yes, and I'll just call the local alchemist Silwith to have her come take care of me. That'll do it. And she hands you the map and passes out right there.
Oh,
Totally
Okay.
said you could carry her. You're
yeah.
very...
I'm gonna go sit her up in the inn. That's what I'm gonna do. Also, the name of that she said.
She said.
I wrote it down. Silwith, right?
Silwith, yes.
Silwith.
We should probably
cool.
go talk to that person.
Did she tell us how we should deal with this blight, or?
I thought we were just killing stuff and then burning it because we didn't burn the other stuff.
Yes. I'm gonna flip. God, why can't I think of her character's name? Delicia a gold coin for the pay for the inn.
Okay.
I'll get her taken care of. See if I can't figure out who this Silwith is and how we can get her there. And then I'm gonna hit up the shop. What are you guys gonna do in the meantime?
I'm gonna study the map. Is what I'm gonna do. But I'm going to study the map.
I could go talk to the sheriff, find out where Silwith's shop is.
I'll go with Jean.
Okay. Here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll start with Delicia. Delicia, you are going to the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what are you telling them when you bring this unconscious woman in?
I dramatically kick open the door and no, I bring her in, carrying her, and say, "We need a doctor, something, alchemists, somebody."
And the innkeeper goes, "Oh, we ain't got no doctor. Just well, there's a priest. No, he died in the plague. No, best we got around here is there's an elf ranger woman who knows some healing. She comes through every once in a while. I ain't never met her though."
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'd lift her up and be like, "This one." I'm gonna need a room for her, for my friend here. She's not feeling so great right now. A little hurt. She's actually that ranger that you were talking about.
Oh, is she? Wow.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen a real elf ranger before. She comes over and looks at her, sort of gawks. She's like, "She real pretty."
I'm sure, but can I get a place to lay her down for the night? I've got it, and then I have a gold, and I'm just going to kind of be like, meh, and give it to her.
She's like, "Oh, that'll get you room for weeks." Yeah. And she runs over to the nearest room and opens it up. It's a fairly nice little room for one of these little tavern rooms. And opens it up. It's got a nice bed and clean sheets and everything. Little chest.
Okay. I'm gonna leave her on the bed. If she has like any kind of, like, I know she's got a cloak on. I'm just gonna remove like any major cape stuff so that she's not like just laying in bed in thick, heavy armor. And just kind of, I guess, leave her there. I don't know. I'm not the what. I'll say this. Can I do an arcana, like she's not feeling great. Does this seem natural?
You can roll Arcana or Medicine.
Okay.
We'll do a is it or isn't it?
Okay. Arcana got an 18.
It doesn't appear to be magical.
Okay. And so medicine. Medicine got a 7. It doesn't appear to be normal.
No, with a 7, it looks like a fever. In that she, is shivering and her temperature is going up.
Guess should have come. And I'm not sure what to do.
I'm just gonna point out the absurdity of being like, oh my gosh, someone's life is on the line. Better give them to Delicia.
I accidentally shoot her.
Maybe that'll cure the fever.
But yeah, she seems to be in the midst of a bad fever.
Okay, I gotta go get Gish. Let me see if I can find him out there. And I'm going to leave the inn and go try to find Gish.
Okay. Cutting back to the other three, what were your actions that each of you were doing?
I was gonna try to find the shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were gonna go talk to the sheriff and see if he knows where the shop is.
Which shop?
The alchemist shop, or where she lives, or whatever.
So you're going to Rolf to ask? Okay. You find Rolf, and he seems excited to see Jean, and then unexcited to see Gish. He's like, "Hey, boys! How you doing?"
Good. Where's the alchemy lady? I forgot her name. It's Cicely or something.
Alchemy lady.
Yeah, you have alchemists in town, right?
You think we ain't had an alchemist since, I don't know, since the plague came through. A lot of folks think it was their fault in the first place, actually. But no, it's been a long time since we had an alchemist here.
I'm just gonna whisper to Jean. Jean, ask him, what did the plague look like? What were the symptoms?
What were the symptoms of the plague? Do you remember?
Yeah. You got black spots under your armpits, and you coughed up blood. And I think they said you basically disintegrated from the inside out.
Okay. Why did I ask him that?
Was there anything about a fever?
Was there a fever?
No, there sure weren't. People just, basically stopped moving and then died. And they would spread it to other people through the black ichor crap that came out of their wounds. And if they coughed on them or breathed, it was real gross and it was awful. And, people like to joke that this town's called Plaguestone. But for those of us who live here, it's a bad memory. That was a bad time.
Was there an alchemist shop before the plague hit?
He thinks, he goes, yeah, old Silwith had a shop, but
that's the name. Where's that at?
That shit, we burned that to the ground. A lot of folks blamed Silwith for the plague. What with inherent, looks at Gish, shady nature of alchemy and a plague going through. People have a tendency to conflate the two, and well, let's just say after we killed Silwith, it didn't have a whole lot to do to help things out. She was just distributing potions and concoctions and stuff. Didn't help nobody none. Everybody still died. So even if she wasn't responsible, she was giving people false hope. And I mean, we lost 80% of the town. So no big deal that
I'm just
she
gonna
died.
walk away while he's talking. Like, well, that was useless.
Yeah, I guess they killed her and burned her home down, so
Yeah.
we can't ask the person who's passed out. This could be just like a dead end, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we just go kill those blight creatures or whatever.
Mornar, what were you doing?
Climbing up a building.
What?
I'm climbing up a building.
Which building?
Just a tall one.
Okay.
And then
Climb up a tall building.
once I get to the top, I'm gonna pull out the map and start studying it. I want to get my bearings on where I'm at physically, and then I also want to see if I can make any connections, the spots of the blights that she maybe couldn't.
You know what? That's not a half bad idea. It's not at all what's in the thing for how to put this together, but it kind of actually works. I need you to roll me survival really quick.
Are you gonna jump off the top into a cart full of hay when you're done?
I might do a fucking dope ass backflip.
Also, if you're not doing this while you're crouched down up on the roof, then you're not doing it right.
An eagle screeches.
Which one was I doing again?
Survival.
Survival. That is a 23.
Okay, 23, and now I need you to make me a perception.
That is a 24.
24. From the top of this house, and we're actually, I'm going to say that you climbed up they're going to, for no good reason, have like a bit of a bell tower in the center.
They
So
obviously
that's-
rang that bell during the plague to let everyone know.
Yes, that's what it was for. It was for something. It was for church. They used to have a church. That's legit.
That's canon.
That is canon. So this bell tower is it's like a 8-story bell tower. It's fucking giant for this little hamlet of a town. Although the town was a lot bigger before it lost 80% of its citizens. So yeah, maybe it makes sense. From way up there, you can see, looking at the map and studying between your survival and your perception, that there is a sort of unique thing that's hard to notice, which is there's a hill that all of these things are downhill from. All of these plague spots are downhill from one sort of singular peak location. I mean, you can't tell what's on it, but you can definitely see, looking at the map and looking over there, that they all have you could draw a straight line to that peak from all of them, and they all intersect at a certain location. Now, why that would be, you can't quite surmise, but you're noticing the pattern.
Okay. I'm gonna, once I've got it all figured out, I'm just gonna make my way down, find
Okay.
them.
So you all meet back up town square.
How's Noala doing, Delicia?
Favor's getting worse. We're going to need some help. If we could have our little meeting over at the inn and maybe get her taken care of.
Did you tuck her in? Maybe that's what you forgot.
I like to think that I tucked her in as best I could, but I mean, fever though, right? So you don't want her heating up more than she already. Let's get over there.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You gotta tuck in a fever. That's a common alchemy, common knowledge.
Delicia rethinks getting Gish.
You know what they say? Burn a fever, freeze a cold. You get back to the inn, and the girl's not up front this time. Do you just barge right into the room?
Yes.
You find her on the bed with a wet washcloth, just sort of dabbing the head of Noala, keeping her cool. And she says, she's pretty. I thought when her face got all red like that, I should probably cool her down some. And I checked her, and she's real warm. She's real warm. So I thought maybe I'd give her a bit of a cooling cloth. It always helps with my chitlins back home.
Mm. We could also dunk her in the river. The river's probably cold. Could just drag her over there.
Is there nowhere to bathe here?
So, well, I could make up an ice bath if you think that'd help.
That'd be probably better than the river.
She goes,
Yeah, probably.
She's like, well, let me go get some ice. It take me a bit to get it all and get it chopped down. We keep the blocks down in the cellars, but I'll get an ice bath up here in a nice wooden tub, and we'll stick her in there. And she's like, I bet she's real pretty in the tub. And then she goes scurrying out.
Hope she doesn't die by the time we get back. I think the river is probably a lot faster. But anyway, so what did you want to say, Delicia?
I mean, I was not expecting the innkeeper here to be the most competent doctor this town has.
More like
And
a
so
midwife,
I'm
I think.
worried that her life was in danger.
It seems as though you are correct. Unfortunately, our CNA here doesn't appear to be any more competent than the random host of this inn.
Roll me a what would that be? It's a type of lore check. I want everybody to roll me a lore goblins. Except for Gish. Gish, you don't need to. You just know this.
The fuck? That's way too high for me. I should not have rolled that high. I got a 17, and there's no reason why I should have gotten that high. I should have gotten like a nat 1 or something.
Okay.
6.
And Delicia?
I had, I believe, a 8.
Okay. With a 17, you know something that Gish knows, which is almost all of his advice has been great for goblins. Like, if he was treating goblins, he would be seen as the fucking Dr. House of goblin shit right now. Like, wow, he's a rogue, he's a renegade, but he's making it happen. But for people, it's real bad advice.
I'm just going to look at him and go, you know, it might behoove you to maybe study a little bit the anatomy on non-goblins if you really want to help out.
To Delicia, who should study? I agree. Delicia should study some more. She doesn't seem to have a good grasp on medical knowledge.
I think that as a group, just in general, maybe we should all learn a little more than
I could teach you guys. I could do some classes.
Set of skills. That would be great.
I was a librarian for 15 years and a scholar for another 7. So, I mean, you know.
That's not very long for you.
You haven't learned anything about fevers?
No. Not that I can remember right now, at least.
It wasn't that kind of library.
It was, yeah, it was a little more, a little different.
Oh God.
Anyway, so what did you more? We tried to find that sheriff, and he doesn't know shit, as expected, as usual. Like, they killed the lady who was the alchemist and burned her place down. So that's not someplace we can go, I guess.
I'm gonna look at the map again real quick and see if the ranger has put any like marks of where like maybe this person's house would have been or is.
Okay.
In case they didn't actually.
So looking at the map, I mean, again, it's a regional map, so this just has like the city as a blob, but it does have some markings that you can make out that suggest that there was a church here, there was an alchemist here, there used to be a metal shop here, there was a wagon shop here, there was a sort of produce and farmers market and stuff like it. This used to be fairly bustling. There used to be quite a bit, because this is an old map. As far as you're talking at the peak or the town that you're looking at?
I'm looking more around the town just to see if I can find a location that this alchemist would have been.
It looks like they would have been in the town.
And there's no markings outside of the town of maybe this person has moved their location and she marked it anywhere?
Doesn't look like it, no.
Okay. Because if the sheriff... You said the sheriff said they killed everyone? Is that what you said?
Just the alchemist, because they said she was evil. Obviously, that's not correct, but they said she was evil and caused the plague, so they killed her. She was trying to give potions. They killed her. The plague didn't stop after that, and they burned down her house.
This town seems to have a hard time identifying anyone for anyone. So I wonder if perhaps this alchemist is still alive.
Maybe, but I don't know how would we find them. We could just shout alchemist, but that's probably not.
My thought is, and I don't know what it physically looks like right now, but if they burned her or his house down, is it not possible that there is some underground area where he still lives?
So you think she's been living in a basement?
Well, yeah, you know how hard
in the
it
middle
would
of town?
Maybe. You know how hard it would be to move all your equipment?
I doubt all of her equipment was in the basement.
Why not?
No, whoever we're dealing with wound up having an entire house be able to burn down while we crawled through a tiny little, thing.
That was
what I'm
also
saying.
a mass evil guy with a giant snake down there.
Mm-hmm. You see the possibilities now.
Vampires.
Okay, well, if you're the one with the map, so let's just go over there, I guess.
Do we trust this innkeeper alone with our new friend?
What's the worst?
She's showing back up, dragging like a 3 or 4 way too heavy for her sacks of ice that she's like basically half dragging, half throwing forward. Like when somebody moves furniture that's way too big for them and they like scoot it and then they grab the other side and they scoot it and then they grab the other side and they scoot it. She's doing that with bags of ice. And she's like, I'm back. I'll give her an ice bath and take care of her.
I'm going to look this person in the eyes and go, can we trust you alone with her?
She says, I could never hurt something that beautiful.
But you might do something weird.
Are you going to do anything weird? I need to know.
She blushes just a little and then she goes, no.
I'm gonna see if she's lying to me. Or see if I could tell whether or not she's lying to me. Is it perception?
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah. So 16.
Hold on. No. You don't think she's lying?
I'm gonna
look. Seem to be helping.
Scowl a little bit at her.
Yeah. It's fine. She's taking better care than anyone else is. So
it's her or the sheriff.
She says, "Now you gotta get out. I gotta get her clothes off before I get her in this bath."
Be careful with her wound and just patch that up. Don't be messing with that.
She says, "Oh, her arm? Yeah, okay. I'll be careful with that."
Before I leave,
she pulls out a pair of scissors to start cutting the clothes off, so that she doesn't have to move the arm.
I'm gonna start pretending to wave my hands in the air all weird, and I'm gonna say to her, "I'm putting a spell here, and if you do anything weird, I'll know about it."
She says, "What counts as weird?"
If you have to ask, you already know.
Oh no! Are the scissors weird? I've never cut clothes off no one. Is that?
Yes, that's weird.
That's weird.
Let's leave her clothes on.
It's
for a bath.
It's not to get clean. It's not that kind of bath, Gene.
We could do that. That's fine. It's just I worry about. It's fine. Okay. But putting her in a bath with clothes on, that does seem weird. Is that also weird?
I think
It's
that's
not.
weird.
It's not the. It's a little weird, but this not that kind of weird.
What happens if something is weird? Will I turn into a frog?
You might.
That seems weird
Just-
too. Will that turn me into something else?
Think about this, okay? If you do anything weird, nothing specifically bad is going to happen to you, right? However, I will get back and I will decide what is weird. And you and I will have a really tough conversation about it.
Is it only bad if I do weird things, or is thinking weird things also? Because now I've got all sorts of weird things I'm thinking about, and I don't want to be punished for thinking weird thoughts.
You're allowed
We're
to
not the
think
mind
weird.
police. Yeah, we're not the mind police. You can think weird things, but outside of her care, keeping her not dead, that's it. Anything outside of that, I'm gonna know about, and you won't be good.
She goes, "Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
You'll come back and you're gonna say this was the least weird interaction I've ever had."
All right. It sounds good.
She very slowly and robotically turns and she says, "Step, step, reach, gotta grab the sheet at the right spot."
Yep,
Goes,
yep.
"Wait, I think I'm
Yep.
acting weird now.
It's all right. It's all right.
I forgot how I'm supposed to walk. I'm thinking about it too much."
You know what? Let's backtrack just a little bit, you and I, okay? Just a little bit. All right. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes. It's all right.
She looks and she says, "Am I staring too much?
Yes.
Don't turn me into a frog."
All right. So when we talk about weird things, okay, we're talking about you doing inappropriately weird things to her passed out body. Does that make sense?
Like dabbing a washcloth on her forehead weird?
Nope. That's okay.
Like kissing her forehead and rubbing her hair weird?
Yes, that's weird.
Okay.
No romantic things when women are passed out, right?
I wouldn't do that.
That's good to hear. No staring at things inappropriately when women are passed out, right?
Is this a common problem for you where these things happen?
Yep, all the time.
Oh, that's strange.
It is strange. So we're going to act appropriate, right?
I mean, I usually do as far as that goes. I just
Right.
sometimes, I think, what if I picked her nose for her? Would that make her feel better, or would that help? Because maybe the fever is caught in the boogers.
Maybe. Just don't fondle inappropriate places we cover with clothes, right?
Well, of course not. I wouldn't do
All right.
that. I
All
might
right.
I might clip her fingernails though and save them in
Okay.
case that tells us something about what's going on.
All right, that's fine, but don't cut any hair.
No cutting her hair.
No cutting her hair. That's
But
weird.
it's such pretty hair.
I know that's the problem. You see where we're
Okay.
getting to?
She's like, "I got it. I won't act too weird, but I will act just weird enough to keep her alive."
Perfect. You found hopefully the perfect middle ground for this.
She grabs her and puts her in the ice bath, probably just in time based on how much worse the fever seems to have gotten during that conversation.
This is how you do medicine, guys. You got to do stuff at exactly the right time. So she did that, and now everything's gonna be okay, I think. So we could
All right,
just
I need
be
to
on our
I
way.
need to get out of this.
We
I
gotta
need
go
to get out of
find
this
a
room.
basement, I guess.
As we walk out of the inn, I'm just like, God's above, what was that? That just
That's
that was
must
the
be like
weirdest shit.
that's not an
I mean,
elf thing.
well, no, I get it. It makes sense. Like it was a little weird. But like, that was a lot.
I just didn't want our ranger to wake up thinking she was in our care and being molested while we're off doing something.
Well, she kind of just passed out, so I don't think she knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Either way, no one wants to wake up molested.
Well, yeah.
And that,
But I was
just
just
had a
saying she
bad
would
feeling.
blame us.
Well, you would just feel somewhat responsible, right?
Yeah.
All right,
go.
well, let's go. Yeah, let's go.
No honor among rangers, it sounds like.
So, what are you looking for in town now?
A basement under the old alchemy shop.
Just going to survey the area is all.
You're just walking around. You talking to anybody, or are you just looking?
I don't think we should say it. They really hate, in addition to goblins, alchemy here. I don't know that we should ask people where the alchemy place is. And if you could see it on that map, we could just go to where it was. If we're looking for a basement, Mornar.
Yeah,
I'm
does
gonna
that
be-
say something about a basement? Is that
No.
why you're asking about it?
Mornar's
No.
convinced there's a subterranean refuge where the alchemist is still alive and has been living all this time.
Okay, let's get something clear here. I am not convinced of anything. I am looking for clues.
Do we really need the alchemist that much?
Probably not, but yes.
Like, I was looking for just see if someone had started doing it with like all her equipment and stuff.
Oh, a new alchemist.
Yeah.
I don't.
It does seem like a good place to check for clues, though.
Someone's
mean-
doing
Yeah.
this blight. So
Yeah.
I just want to take a quick look around because if this alchemist could be more useful than we think in a lot of ways.
I agree. Alchemists are very useful.
Oh, we
Alright.
just gotta find a burnt down house.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're searching the town for a burned down house. Everybody roll me a D100.
Oh god.
Closer to 100, the more likely you stumble across randomly
Well,
a burned
Wasn't
down
there
house.
like on the map there was like areas where it said the alchemist house we're at, right? So I think we would go to that area.
No. There were symbols next to the city. So the city is a dot on that map.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the
okay.
symbols say this stuff is available in that city.
gotcha. Okay.
I got a 77.
I got 65.
I got an Oct 8.
I got a 46.
Okay. We'll start with Delicia. Delicia, you find a burned down house.
Well, does it look alchemy based?
It looks like a house that was burned down.
Hey guys. Hello.
Could we
No,
split up?
I'm saying you all split up. Yeah. So
You're just shouting, "Hey guys!" in the middle.
Guys,
I found it.
I've been meaning to do this since we got into town. I'm gonna fire my musket up in the air.
Somebody comes running out of a nearby house. Says like, what the hell are you doing? What was that? Why'd you make a thunder noise?
I was just trying to get a hold of my friends. They were supposed to be able to hear that. I sure hope that works that way. Hey, is this where the alchemist back there on that evil alchemist that done did the plague? Would this be where their house was?
He says, why are you pointing at my barn? I burned that down. I'm gonna plow that area. We're gonna turn that into a nice little condo for my daughter. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. We haven't had alchemists here in years. You think burned buildings just sit here for 30 years? The fuck?
I mean,
Go fire your gun somewhere else. Leave me alone. And he goes back inside and slams the door.
all right. I'm going to continue a meandering search through town, imagining also that some sort of hawk or majestic bird falls out of the sky having been shot.
47, 42?
46.
46.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, something like that.
46. You don't see any burned down buildings. You do, however, come to an area where there are fewer buildings and there's more room. Potentially buildings had burned down or been removed in this area. You then hear the sound of a gunshot going off. or a musket shot?
I'm gonna start fucking sprinting towards that, thinking that Delicia's being attacked or something.
Okay.
And I know how bad she is at aiming, so I got to get over there.
60 something.
65, yeah.
65. Okay. You are on the other end of town, and same thing. You're seeing some spots where buildings could have been, things like that. Nothing in particular. Your gunshot go off.
It's interesting. I'm just going to keep looking where I am. I'm not going to run to that. Why would I run toward a gunshot?
And Gene, you come to an area where you can see a church and some various buildings, and then there's like a row of buildings that are all right next to each other, and one plot is just missing. On close examination, you can see evidence of where fire had like singed the houses right next on either side, and then an empty sort of plot of land in between the two. And then you hear a gunshot.
I'm gonna check my body, make sure I didn't get hit. And then, can I tell where it came from?
The gunshot came from the west, which is the direction Delicia went. I'm assuming Delicia went west, Morvar went north, Gish went east, and you went south.
Well, then I'm gonna run over there.
Okay. Mornar and Gene, you two both see Delicia just sort of like sheepishly standing there. She's been walking. She's still over on the west side because it doesn't sound like you would have left. She just sort of like glances back and sees both of you. And now I need everybody to make me another D100 check.
Oof. 37.
What is all zeros?
That's 100.
Is that 100?
That's 100.
I got 100. That's
Okay.
never happened, so I didn't know what all zeros meant. I'm like, is that just 0 or is that?
Nope. That is 100. Okay. That's good to know. Delicia, what'd you get?
71.
And Gish.
5.
Perfect. A musket ball flies from the sky and slams into you, Gish.
Oh, fucking Delicia.
You take 8 damage.
Excellent.
You have no idea where that came from.
Combat music starts
I
playing.
mean, you kind of have an idea.
Must have been the
where it
wind.
came from.
Yeah. I shouldn't say that. You have no evidence other than the musket ball embedded in your shoulder.
Well, now I'm pissed, and I would start to head toward where I heard the gunshot.
With a 100, I gotta do something for that. Mornar, as you're approaching, you're sort of walking along, and you
Find a puppy.
Mornar gets a puppy.
You literally sort of like trip over a metal object in the ground. As you go back and look, it is a necklace of some sort that looks to have been like sort of buried in the mud. And now just a little edge of it is sticking out, and you can sort of like pry it out of the ground. It's some sort of magic necklace.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna see if I know anything about this necklace. Just a general check. I mean, I don't really have high alchemy, so I mean, any
Arcane?
arcana, so I don't really know much about it. So I feel like even if I roll like a nat 20, I shouldn't get much out of it. You know?
You wouldn't.
Yeah. But I just, just like a general, I've ran into a lot of magic stuff in my life. Just see if I recognize anything on it.
Looking at it, it appears to be a locket specifically. It's sealed shut for now. There might be a way to get it to open up, but you can tell it's magic and you can tell it's a locket. And inside is a something.
I'm just gonna, I don't trust any magic items. So I'm just gonna like wrap it up in a cloth and put it in my bag for now until I can find someone smart enough to identify it.
Okay. So while we wait for Gish to catch up, what do you say as the three of you get together?
I'm gonna like have both my swords out, like, what is going on?
Hey, we should probably work that out ahead of time. I was just gonna get everyone's attention because I found a burned down building.
Okay.
So it was just a barn. I jumped the gun, as it were.
Okay.
So yeah, about that. But we're all back up together. You guys find anything?
I found something that's probably a shop, maybe.
I didn't find shit, so maybe we should look in the whatever you found.
Yeah, probably not the barn one.
No,
Yeah,
that's clear.
It's
That's
definitely not that barn.
that's also like just clearly a barn. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Who burns down their own barn?
I don't know, man.
You can repurpose that wood.
Well, maybe
Maybe.
they're rich.
Farmers are. I mean, the locals here seem pretty fucking stupid. So maybe it was an accident, or you know.
Yeah, Delicia, did they give you any signs they might be rich?
I mean, yeah. But
right, well, it's
as
this
you
way.
three head back that way, Gish shows up. He looks less happy than normal, and he never looks particularly happy.
Did you get shot?
Yep. Yeah, I sure did. Anyone here know anything about that?
That was a good shot.
Has anyone shot their gun recently? Or is this just some other coincidence?
I mean, we got attacked, fended them off. All the bad guys are dead. One of them had a gun, though.
What kind of bad guys were they?
Just big ones.
And you all fought them off?
Yeah, nope. I look towards like Mornar and Gene.
I'm just gonna say that I never technically put my swords away, so it kind of looks like we did get in a fight.
Nice.
I think a new strategy for us is whenever we're in a fight, we just hide behind the bad guys, and there's a good chance that she'll just shoot them instead of us.
It's possible.
As we're walking, are there any locals around?
There are various locals around. You see specifically, let's see here, Targan Folst.
I'm just gonna go up to this person and be like, do you know if there are still any old maps left over from before the plague?
He says, oh, well, as the owner of the finest and onlyestest real establishments left in this town. Yeah, and then he looks over at Delicia and he says, he looks pointedly at your musket. He says, my son said some loon was firing off a rifle in the air next to my house.
That was a warning shot for signaling my compatriots for a fight we had. Situation's taken care of, though. No need to worry.
Bad guys.
We heard there was also some wolves
big
around.
Bad guys. Big bad guys.
He looks unimpressed and he says, yes, I have maps for sale. There's a bit of an upcharge for them these days. Looks at Delicia.
The only store left in town is a map store.
Okay, well, how much
Says,
are these?
It's a general store. And
How
I
much are
happen to
these?
have old maps.
How much are these maps with whom's prices changed because you don't like us? How much are they?
Says, oh, for an old map, gosh, I mean, at this point, they're antiques. Nobody even knows what the town used to look like.
Yeah, get past the sales pitch. Just tell me the price. Come on.
Hey, 5 gold.
Fuck
It's a
you.
very expensive map.
And I'm just gonna walk away.
Can I look over it first before I commit to 5 gold?
He says,
Just want to make sure it's like worth 5 gold, you know?
he thinks on it, and he says, for a 1 gold fee, you can look it over.
How much is 1 gold in comparison to like?
It was gonna get us weeks at the inn.
Yeah, it's a lot.
This guy's
I'm
real
gonna
piece of
hold-
shit.
I'm going to hold 1 gold up. I'm going to show it to him, and I'm going to say, I will give you this gold
Are we
if you
still on
show
the
me
street?
the map.
He sticks his hand out, and he says, you're an out-of-towner with swords drawn who's in a party with somebody who just fired a weapon off next to my house. I think between the two of us, I'm the one who's trustworthy here on account of the fact that I can't just leave
Why can't you leave?
because I live here.
You bring up an interesting point. You are a ruthless barter.
I just think we should just go check out my thing first. He's just
I give
ripping
him
you guys off.
I give him the piece of gold.
Okay. He takes the piece of gold and he says, well, we can follow me back to my my business and I'll show you the map.
I'm going to my
Yeah,
spot.
Yeah, go.
I go with Gene.
Gene and Gish go to the burned down or the potential burned down house.
I
Delicia?
did want to go to the general store, but I'm kind of getting a vibe that it might not be great for negotiations. So I'm gonna with Gene and get
Okay. So you 3 go there. We'll stick with Mornar for a little bit, real quick. So Mornar, you get there, and he digs through, and he asks you some questions while he's digging through old chests and stuff. He says, "So, what you all in town for still? I know the sheriff had well, he thought you were involved in the death of Bort, but he's letting you run around an awful lot still."
Well, it's actually quite the opposite now. I'm actually lead detective on figuring out who killed him.
Says, is that so?
That's why I need
interesting.
this old map. It will help in my investigation.
Okay. Well, with a gold, I'll admit that's a little high of a price. Anything else you'd be interested in that I can toss in as a freebie?
What type of stuff does he have in this store?
It's a general store. He's got like, think of it like a convenience store. There's some rope and there's lots of old documents and stuff that he has that he's probably looted from various businesses that no longer exist. He has hooks and chains and book bindings, paper, charcoal, pinions, things like that.
Should pick up some candy while you're there.
Does he have anything that would be good for like I don't know what this mountain actually looks like that we're going to be headed towards?
It's more of a not even an appellation. It's more of like Lewiston Hill.
Okay. Yeah.
Very important for our viewers.
Yeah, we're talking not a mountain.
Does he have anything that would like burglar type stuff that I could turn into burglaring gear? But that may not be its intent.
He has a pack called a farmer's starter kit, and it has stuff for making like barbed wire and pounding fence posts in and small repairs and things. A lot of it could be abused as a burglar's kit.
Yeah, screw it.
Okay.
I might be able to find something. Some
He
use
pulls
for it.
the map out and unrolls it for you to take a look at. He says, and you can keep it, but that will be more gold.
How about 1 more gold for it, and you just give me some information on some of the old stuff around this town.
Says, sure, why not? I've been here a long time.
What do you know of the old alchemist Silwith?
Oh, Silwith. Well, let's see here. Silwith. She pissed off the head priest. So he was trying to heal people using his faith, and he didn't much like her honing in during the plague by providing people alchemical attempts. Didn't help any. Everybody that she treated still died, but a lot of people felt that somehow it was her fault, which is patently ridiculous. My brother died. My dad died. My mom died. All my cousins are dead. Most of my family got wiped out in that plague, but I never blamed Silwith nor her daughter. They just they couldn't help, and people expected them to either help or be responsible. They wanted to blame. And when Silwith got sick, nobody would sell her anything. Nobody would help her. The priest wouldn't help her. And while none of that would have cured her, it might have helped her fight it off on her own. Some people could survive, and she just couldn't get any reagents or food or anything. And after she died, they burned her place down, and now we don't have an alchemist anymore.
What happened to her daughter?
Oh, Viltry? Viltry, I don't know. She was around for a while. She was real mad, angry little girl. I mean, for obvious reasons. She blamed the town for the death of her mom. And she knew she was a talented little alchemist, just like her mom was. She moved on years ago now. I suspect she went to a city and set up shop, and at this point, she's probably making money hand over fist, healing people who actually appreciate her. At least I hope so.
Remember where their house was?
Oh man, somewhere down in the south of town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Are we good with the 2 gold here?
Says sure. Come on by. You want more information? I love talking about how things used to be back before this place sucked.
Yeah, I will come back. Don't worry.
He nods, lets you out the door, and then closes it behind you and locks up shop. Down to the south of town, you 3 come to an empty lot with burned buildings or slight burn marks on either side of it.
So what did you see?
So
did you see
I
a
think this is
basement
it.
here? Did you?
I don't know. Gun went off, so I went running.
Well, we're all back together again, so we can all, split up and take a look at the lot.
Yeah. Roll me a perception, all 3 of you.
Gotta check what my thing
10.
is.
21.
Where is perception? That'll be a 19.
The 19 and the 21, as you make your way into the lot, you find a little pile of rubble and detritus. And there is a very worn wooden sign that's been blackened from flames that says Silwith's Alchemy.
Well, we're at the right spot.
What did Mordar want us to do here again?
We're searching for a dungeon.
I just start stomping around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say probably maybe don't do that. Just not a great action to take.
Do you want to shoot your gun off or something? You don't have a lot of.
You know what? You're right.
How are each of you searching?
I'm gonna grab a stick and just start prodding the ground.
Okay. So Gene is stabbing the ground with a stick.
I'm just stomping around, even though
Gish is
Delicia said not to.
stomping. And Delicia, what are you doing? You firing your gun at the ground?
I just want to sit down and look dejectedly at the floor, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just looking, trying to find like the edges of what's that called? Like the foundation to see if there's a layout.
So you guys are doing this for a little bit. Mornar, you show up and see Gish stomping like a child around. You see Gene stabbing the ground with a stick, and you see Delicia sort of pacing along the edge of the lot, looking down at the ground intensely.
Just gonna sigh and walk up and go, so how is this going?
It's not.
I don't think there's a dungeon here.
Yeah, I don't see any kind of basement.
It's important to note that you found this place by following the map, and you happen to run into them here. You obviously didn't follow Gene here.
Right. I'm going to not worry about what they're currently doing, and I'm going to look around the area to see if I see any footprints of someone sneaking in and out all the time.
Roll me a perception.
14.
Nope.
Yeah.
Do you want to help me stop? Maybe if we both stop.
Does it look like there's just like, what is he stomping through exactly? Is it just dirt? Is it?
It looks like dirt over maybe stones. Delicia has been tracing the outline of a foundation. It looks like there's like a cobblestone or maybe some other sort of early bad concrete stone foundation here.
I'm going to look at Gish and tell him, we do not stomp when we are searching for something. We kick things away, right? So maybe that'll be a little more useful for maybe discovering something.
Have you ever tried to kick rocks before? I don't know if that's the best. It could break your foot.
Then use your fucking hands.
I don't really know how to kick with your hands. Is that an elf trick?
It is, yes. I'm gonna start like squaring out farther away from the property, like to see if there's any like weird exits, like what we found next to the tree and stuff.
You don't see anything.
Well, this has been a real good adventure. I'm glad we came down here.
It looks like finding a basement might be a bust. Did you find out anything, Mornar?
Yes. It appears that Silwith died of the plague, but she has a daughter who was also an alchemist, who is still alive. But it sounds like he believes she no longer lives here. But who else would the ranger be going to? Named Silwith.
What was her name?
Well, the
Viltry.
So a V?
Yes, a V.
I think we got ourselves our suspect.
I think you might be right.
And that is where we will end episode 7. A new suspect is found. Thank you for listening, and join us next time. Bye.